Hello, dear friend. I'm really glad you're here. Before we begin, I want you to take one gentle breath and allow yourself to relax. This moment, this space, this time, it is just for you. No pressure, no expectations, no need to pretend that you are confident or strong. You are here simply as you are, and that is more than enough. Shyness is something many people experience, yet they hide it as if it's a secret. But today, you don't have to hide anything. Today, you and I are going to talk honestly, calmly, softly about the feelings you carry inside. The nervousness, the hesitation, the overthinking, the quietness that sometimes stops your voice. Not to criticize it, not to fight it, but to understand it with kindness. Because shyness does not mean you are weak. It does not mean you lack confidence or value. It simply means you feel deeply, you think carefully, and your heart moves gently in a loud, fast world. And there is beauty in that, a beauty you may not have discovered yet. In this lesson, you will learn 10 powerful tips that will help you step out of shyness slowly, naturally, and comfortably. Not by forcing yourself to be bold, but by learning how to breathe through the fear, how to calm your thoughts, how to trust your own voice, and how to see yourself with new eyes. So settle in, let your mind soften, and let's begin this journey together, gently, patiently, and with a lot of self-love. Tip 1. Understand your shyness. Instead of fighting it. Shyness is not your enemy, dear friend. It is a part of you that developed over many years, through experiences, memories, fears, and expectations. Most people try to fight their shyness, and that is why they feel even more trapped. You cannot fight something that lives inside you. You can only understand it. When you pause for a moment and truly ask yourself, why do I feel shy? You begin to see the real reasons behind it. Fear of judgment, fear of saying something wrong, fear of not being accepted, fear of being seen too closely. These fears make your body tense, your mind freeze, and your voice small. But once you understand that your shyness is simply a protective response, not a flaw, everything changes. You stop blaming yourself. You stop thinking you are broken. You stop feeling ashamed. Instead, you begin to look at your shyness with compassion. You begin to see that your silence, your sensitivity, your careful nature, all of these are not weaknesses, but reflections of a thoughtful personality. And when you understand yourself, your shyness slowly loses its power. You stop seeing it as a cage and start seeing it as something you can gently step out of. Understanding is the first step toward transformation. Tip 2. Start with small social steps. Long, deep version. One of the biggest mistakes shy people make is trying to fix everything at once. They push themselves into big social situations, large gatherings, difficult conversations, or high-pressure moments, hoping that suddenly, magically, their shyness will disappear. But that only makes the fear stronger. Real confidence doesn't come from forcing yourself into overwhelming situations. Real confidence grows quietly, slowly, gently, through small steps that your mind can handle without panic. When you start small, you teach your brain one powerful message. I can do this. I am safe. And every time your brain receives this message, even in tiny situations, your confidence grows a little more. Maybe your small step is saying hello to a cashier. Maybe it's asking someone how their day is. Maybe it's talking to one classmate instead of avoiding everyone. Maybe it's making eye contact for 1 second longer than usual. Maybe it's saying one sentence in a group, not a whole conversation. These may seem like small actions, but they create big transformations over time. Because the truth is this: your brain learns through repetition, not pressure. Every small successful interaction becomes evidence that you can speak, you can connect, and you can handle social situations. Slowly, the fear in your mind loses its power, and confidence begins to rise naturally. Small steps are also kinder to your emotions. They don't overwhelm you. They don't trigger panic. They don't make you feel ashamed or embarrassed. Instead, they build strength gently, silently, in the background of your everyday life. Think of confidence like climbing a staircase. You don't jump to the top. You take one step, then another, then another. And before you even realize it, you are standing higher than you ever imagined. So, dear friend, start small. Start with steps so easy that you cannot fail. Start with actions that feel safe enough to try. Start with conversations that don't scare you. Start with moments that help you breathe instead of freeze. Because small steps don't just build confidence, they build a new version of you. Tip 3. Practice speaking slowly and clearly. When you feel shy, your mind begins to race. Thoughts move too fast, your heartbeat increases, and suddenly your words feel trapped inside your throat. This is why shy people often speak quickly. Not because they want to, but because they're trying to escape the moment. But speaking fast actually increases nervousness. It makes your breathing shallow, your voice shaky, and your mind confused. That is why one of the simplest and most powerful ways to overcome shyness is to practice speaking slowly and clearly. When you slow down your speech, something magical happens inside you. Your breath becomes deeper. Your thoughts become clearer. Your voice becomes stronger. Your confidence becomes visible, even if you don't feel it fully yet. Speaking slowly gives your mind time to think. It gives your body time to relax. It gives your voice time to form words without shaking. And most importantly, it gives you control over the situation. Instead of the moment controlling you, you begin to control the moment. You don't need to sound perfect. You don't need to speak like a public speaker. You just need to speak at a pace that feels calm and natural. Try this. Before speaking, take a gentle breath. Then say your words slowly, as if you have all the time in the world. People will listen more closely. They will respect your presence more. A slow voice signals authority, confidence, and clarity, even if you are shy inside. Remember, dear friend, speaking fast does not make you confident. Speaking clearly does. And when you practice this every day, during simple conversations, during greetings, during small talk, your mind learns to associate speaking with calmness instead of fear. Slowly, your anxiety goes down. Slowly, your voice becomes stable. Slowly, you begin to feel more comfortable expressing yourself. Speaking slowly is not just a technique. It is a doorway. A doorway that leads you out of shyness and into confidence. One calm sentence at a time. Tip 4. Stop overthinking. How you look or sound. Shy people do not fear people. They fear their own thoughts. The real struggle is not the conversation happening outside, but the conversation happening inside your mind. You begin to think, what if I look weird? What if my voice sounds strange? What if they judge me? What if I make a mistake? What if I embarrass myself? These thoughts create a storm inside you, and before you even speak, you already feel defeated. But here is the truth you must remember. People are not thinking about you as much as you think they are. Everyone is busy with their own worries, their own insecurities, their own thoughts. You are not being watched, analyzed, or judged the way your mind tells you. Overthinking is like wearing a heavy backpack full of imaginary fears. It makes every simple conversation feel difficult. It takes your energy, your joy, your confidence. But when you realize that your thoughts are exaggerating things, you begin to breathe again. You begin to see that most of your fears never actually happen. You begin to understand that your mind is not predicting the future. It is only repeating an old fear. Think about it. How many times did you stay silent because your mind told you don't speak? And how many times did something bad actually happen when you did speak? Almost never. Because the problem was never the situation. The problem was the story you were telling yourself. When you stop overthinking, your natural personality comes forward. You speak more comfortably. You smile more. You breathe more. You listen better. And people feel more connected to you because you are finally present, not trapped inside your thoughts. Here's a powerful truth. Confidence does not come from being perfect. Confidence comes from being real. People connect with honesty, not flawless speaking. They like genuine expressions, not robotic perfection. They like warmth, not performance. And the moment you realize that you don't need to impress anyone, only to express yourself, your fear begins to melt. So, dear friend, stop thinking, how do I look? How do I sound? What if they judge me? Instead, start thinking, I am allowed to speak. My voice matters. I don't need to be perfect. I am safe. When you change the thoughts in your mind, you change the feelings in your heart. And when your heart feels calm, shyness cannot control you anymore. Tip 5. Use body language to boost confidence. Paragraph plus proper gaps. Body language is one of the most powerful tools for overcoming shyness because your body speaks long before your words do. When you're shy, your posture becomes smaller. Your shoulders fall, your gaze drops, your chest tightens, and your breathing becomes shallow. This signals your brain that you are unsafe, which increases fear and makes speaking even harder. But when you gently adjust your posture, everything inside you begins to change. Standing a little taller, relaxing your shoulders, taking slow, deep breaths, and keeping your head slightly lifted sends a completely different message to your mind. I am okay. I can handle this. This shift reduces anxiety and makes your voice more stable and clear. Body language does not only influence how others see you, it shapes how you see yourself. When your body is open, your mind becomes open. When your posture is confident, your thoughts slowly become confident too. People naturally respond more positively to someone who appears calm, steady, and grounded. Even if you feel shy inside, your body can create the impression of confidence on the outside. And the reactions you receive from others will start building real confidence within you. Over time, these small physical adjustments create a powerful emotional transformation. You stop feeling like a shy person pretending to be confident, and instead you begin to feel like a confident person who is gently healing from shyness. Your body can lift you up or pull you down, and when you use it wisely, it becomes one of your greatest strengths. Tip 6. Prepare conversations in advance. Paragraph plus proper gaps. One of the biggest reasons shy people freeze in social situations is because they don't know what to say. Their mind goes blank at the exact moment they need their words the most. But this doesn't mean something is wrong with you. It simply means your brain feels unprepared and overwhelmed. Preparing conversations in advance is a gentle and powerful way to reduce this pressure. Before you enter a social situation, think of 2 or 3 simple topics you can talk about. Maybe the weather, something you learned recently, a small compliment, a question about their day, or a shared interest. These small prepared ideas act like safety nets. They give your mind something familiar to hold on to so you don't panic or overthink when it's time to speak. Preparedness creates comfort, and comfort creates confidence. When you already have a few sentences or questions ready in your mind, the fear of "what do I say now?" begins to fade. You no longer feel lost in silence or forced to come up with something instantly. Instead, you feel steady, calm, and in control. This doesn't make conversations robotic. It makes them smoother and less scary. Even confident people prepare what they want to say before important events, meetings, and social interactions. It's not cheating, it's smart communication. And the more you practice, the more natural it becomes. Over time, you won't need to prepare as much because your mind will learn how to navigate conversations with ease. Preparing in advance is not a sign of weakness. It is a sign of self-awareness. It is a gentle way of saying to yourself, "I care enough about my growth to make this easier for me." And when you treat yourself with that kindness, shyness loses its power. Tip 7. Accept mistakes without shame. One of the biggest reasons shyness controls your life is because you are afraid of making mistakes. You fear saying the wrong word, giving the wrong answer, sounding awkward, or embarrassing yourself in front of others. But here's the truth. Mistakes are a natural part of being human. Everyone makes them. Confident people, successful people, leaders, teachers, even the people you admire the most. The difference is that shy people feel shame after a mistake, while confident people simply learn from it and move on. When you treat every small mistake like a disaster, your mind becomes tense, your voice becomes weak, and your confidence disappears. But when you allow yourself to be human, everything becomes easier. Speaking becomes easier. Socializing becomes easier. Learning becomes easier. You begin to understand that mistakes don't define you. They shape you. They help you grow, improve, and become stronger than before. The moment you stop fearing mistakes, you begin to free yourself from the prison of shyness. Think for a moment. How many times did you stay silent because you were scared of getting something wrong? How many opportunities did you avoid because you weren't perfect yet? How many conversations did you leave behind because you feared a tiny mistake? This fear has robbed you of moments that could have helped you grow. But now it's time to change that. Accept your mistakes with kindness. Smile at them. Own them. Use them as fuel for your confidence instead of reasons to hide. When you allow yourself to speak imperfectly, you begin to speak more naturally. When you let yourself try, even if you fail, your fear begins to fade. Confidence does not come from speaking perfectly. Confidence comes from speaking anyway. The more mistakes you make, the more comfortable you become. And slowly, without even noticing, you become someone who is no longer held back by fear. Accepting your mistakes is not only emotional freedom, it is the beginning of your confidence. Tip 8. Focus on listening more than speaking. One of the most comforting truths for shy people is this: you don't need to be the loudest person in the room to be confident. You don't need to speak the most, tell the best stories, or impress everyone with perfect words. Confidence is not measured by how much you talk. It is measured by how present and comfortable you are. And this is why focusing on listening instead of speaking can be a beautiful way to overcome shyness. When you listen deeply, you remove pressure from yourself. You don't have to think of the perfect sentence every second. You don't have to worry about what you sound like. You simply have to be there, paying attention, absorbing their words, responding gently when you feel ready. This creates a natural flow in the conversation and makes the other person feel valued and respected. People love being listened to. It makes them feel important. And when someone feels important around you, they naturally like you, trust you, and feel comfortable with you. When you focus on listening, your mind becomes calm because you are no longer fighting with your thoughts, trying to create the perfect reply. You give yourself time to think, time to breathe, time to understand the person in front of you. And when you finally speak, even if it's just a few words, your words carry more weight, more meaning, more authenticity. Good listeners are often seen as wise, confident, and emotionally grounded, even if they speak very little. Listening also helps you learn how conversations work, how people express themselves, what topics they enjoy, how they react, how they shift emotions. This practice slowly builds your own confidence because you begin to understand people better. And when you understand people, social situations no longer feel unpredictable or scary. So, dear friend, let go of the fear of needing to talk a lot. Let go of the pressure to be entertaining or perfect. Simply listen, calmly, openly, with genuine curiosity. You will be surprised how naturally your confidence grows when you stop trying to speak perfectly and start connecting deeply. Tip 9. Stop trying to be perfect. One of the strongest roots of shyness is the pressure to be perfect. You want to speak perfectly, behave perfectly, answer perfectly, and appear perfectly confident. But this desire for perfection creates a heavy weight on your heart. A weight that makes every social moment feel like a test you must pass. When you try to be perfect, your mind starts scanning for mistakes before you even speak, and that fear freezes your voice. But here's the truth. Confidence does not grow from perfection. It grows from being real. People are not attracted to flawless humans. They are attracted to honest, natural, authentic humans. When you allow yourself to be imperfect, your body relaxes, your mind opens, and your words flow more naturally. You stop judging yourself every second, and you begin to experience conversations instead of surviving them. The moment you stop trying to be perfect is the moment you give yourself permission to be human, and that is where true confidence begins. Think about the people you love talking to. Are they perfect? No. They make mistakes, laugh at themselves, pause while speaking, and sometimes say the wrong thing. Yet you still enjoy being around them. People do not remember your mistakes. They remember your presence. Perfection creates distance, but authenticity creates connection. When you release the need to impress others, your heart becomes lighter, your voice steadier, and social situations become less frightening. You begin to understand that it is okay to pause, okay to forget words, okay to think slowly, okay to not know everything. And as this acceptance grows, your shyness begins to fade because the fear inside you loses its main fuel, the fear of not being good enough. Dear friend, you are already enough, not because you are perfect, but because you are real, human, growing, learning. Let your imperfections speak with kindness. Let your voice come out naturally, and let go of the impossible standard that has held you back for so long. Tip 10. Repeated exposure. Do it afraid, but do it anyway. The final and most powerful step in overcoming shyness is repeated exposure. Facing the situations that make you nervous, not once, not twice, but again and again, until your mind finally understands that they are not dangerous. Confidence is not something you suddenly wake up with. It is something your brain learns through experience. Each time you speak in a group, each time you ask a question, each time you say hello to someone new, each time you share your thoughts, your fear loses a little bit of its power. The first few times will feel uncomfortable. You may feel your heart beating fast, your voice shaking, your hands trembling. But this does not mean you are failing. It means you are growing. Growth always begins in discomfort. The more you do the things that scare you, the less scary they become. And slowly, your mind begins to replace fear with familiarity. Think of any skill in life: driving, reading, riding a bicycle, speaking a new language. You were nervous at first, unsure, uncomfortable. But repetition made everything easier. The same rule applies here. If you wait until the fear disappears, you will wait forever. Confidence comes after action, not before it. So do the small things that feel scary. Speak even when your voice trembles. Join a conversation even if you feel unsure. Express your thoughts even if they sound imperfect. Every moment of courage sends a powerful message to your brain. I can do this. And with every repetition, the fear becomes smaller and the confidence becomes stronger. You begin to realize that shyness is not a permanent identity. It is simply a habit of avoidance. And like any habit, it can be replaced with a new one. So, dear friend, take action even when you feel afraid. Because the truth is, bravery is not the absence of fear. Bravery is choosing to move forward despite it. Keep practicing, keep showing up, keep challenging yourself gently. One day you will look back and be amazed at how far you've come, and how small your shyness looks compared to the strength you built within yourself. Closing message. Dear friend, as we reach the end of this journey, I want you to pause for a moment and truly appreciate yourself. You showed up today. You listened. You learned. You opened your heart to new possibilities, and that alone is an act of courage. Overcoming shyness is not about becoming someone else. It is about uncovering the confident, capable, beautiful version of yourself that has been quietly waiting beneath your fears. Every tip you learn today is a small step toward a stronger future. Some days you will feel brave, some days you will feel nervous, and that is completely okay. Growth is not a straight line. It is a gentle unfolding. Be patient with yourself, kind to yourself, and proud of yourself for every step you take. Confidence is built slowly, through small moments of courage, repeated again and again. And you, dear friend, are already on your way. Remember, you do not have to become loud to be confident. You do not have to be perfect to be worthy. Your voice matters, Your presence matters, and your journey matters. Keep practicing, keep showing up, keep choosing courage even when you feel afraid. One day, without even noticing when it happened, you will realize that the version of you who was once shy is no longer the version standing here today. You will feel lighter, freer, stronger, because you chose not to let fear define your life. Thank you for being here. Thank you for listening. And thank you for growing. Your confidence has already begun.